bro, like, when I was in the fast and that, yeah, was doing no takeout. Like, to be fair, since then, I've had less time on my hands. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So this is why I haven't done this yet. But I was making like...
to make food and that. Yeah.
I was making food in it, do you get? And I was almost like, do you know what? I might bring that challenge back.
Just makes sense.
So essentially, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, listen, just add in structure. And do you know what it is as well? Yeah, I feel like I even kind of like, I've got like a certain distaste for doing challenges now, where it's only over a short period of time.
Because it's like when you're done, you want to.
Yeah, because when you think about it, you're making a good lifestyle change. Why am I only doing it for a short period of time?
You should carry on with it.
You know what's so mad though?
Yeah, like
31 days is not short.
No, it is, man. It is in the grand scheme of things.
No, 31 days. No, I don't think that's short.
Not short.
31 days is short in the grand scheme of things, you know. Think about it. If you're making a positive lifestyle change.
But what are you saying? You're saying basically you shouldn't stop after the 31 days.
Yeah,
you're saying it's enough time for.
So for example,
so no, they don't be saying
the things that you're
forming
doing,
habits and that. Do you get me?
Yeah, no, but yeah. But the thing is, yeah, if you think about it this way, yeah, so you're making a positive lifestyle change, yeah, for that period of time. And then after, you're just going to go back to doing whatever.
Yeah, you shouldn't still.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? So, and then if you think about it, it's 1 month out of a year.
Yeah.
How many years have you been on this earth? How many years, by God's grace, are you going to still be on this earth? It doesn't...
Yeah. You should carry it on, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
So carry it on still.
One thing that in January, while we were fasting, I was also doing the no sugar, no added sugar stuff. Yeah, bro. So, obviously, I drink coffee. Just no sugar. Do you get me? So I started to use like natural sweetness or like natural honey. Like literally unrefined honey, not like any honey. Fam. When I got back here, so as soon as Feb came, Feb 1st, I was like, all right, man, let me just have my coffee normally, innit? Then I was like, you know what? Each week, let me reduce it. So I have sugar twice a week, and then every other day, I use honey. Little by little, I found myself just creeping back to get to sugar. And to sugar, not even because I wanted the taste of sugar, but just because it was there.
Convenient.
So, I had to go out of my way to get the unrefined honey. You get me? But just like, bro.
Fam, even when you said unrefined honey, I'm thinking, fam, where'd you get that from?
We know this as well, fam. You know, if you go to Nigeria, fam, the honey just unrefined. you get what I'm trying to say? It's just unrefined. It's just in an ever water bowl. They've got that thing straight from the straight next to, fam. They put it inside that bowl. So, but yeah, man, yeah. So I get it though. There's certain habits that try and carry on.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, if you think about it as well, yeah, it's like when you're doing it, part of the reason why you bought into it is because it's a positive lifestyle.
Something that's good.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's kind of like even the 15 minutes of like prayer or reading your Bible every day. And
why would you stop that?
Why would you stop? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
You want to increase it. You just want to get better at it.
And it's like. And I feel that way about all of it. The gratitude log, the whole lot. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Especially like how quickly after you've done these things, that you start to feel things start to creep in and you start to feel another way. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like it's obvious that it's
even with the fasting in general as well, something that you should actually try and just do. Do you know, obviously in our home church they always say the day of your birth you should fast, innit? But it just encourages constant fasting and not necessarily fasting because of a specific thing or because of a specific period, innit? It's something that you should actually just continuously do it and try to do all the time. It's just part of your life that you just fast
I need
that
to
point.
jump back on that, you know, and I'm actually going to do that. Now you said that.
It's key still.
Those are the fasting on the day of your birth. So for those listening, it's the day of the week you were born on. So I need to. I'm gonna do it still.
No, it's just good practice.
Monday.
I think I'm Friday. Wait. Okay. So you're Ghanaian MB.
Huh?
So you're Ghanaian MB. I don't know though. I ain't got a clue still.
Why are you looking very serious like that?
No, because the way you laughed at it, is like it's something that I should have known of. Or something like that. So it took a minute to register.
No, he was looking at that, man.
This nigga.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna do that. So you know, it's even the gratitude.
Bro.
The gratitude log,
struggling. He's struggling to say gratitude.
I went Bible study the other day, and
so which one?
The one I go to in Southwest. So it's far, but fam, it's good, isn't it? So they were talking about joy, and they were talking about how to keep joy in your life, innit? And they were just talking about different things like praise, like just praising through things, but also just pondering. I'm pondering on what God has done. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I was like, fam, we don't ponder bare because we forget.
Yeah. And you move on to the next one.
We just move on, bro. We don't ponder because we forget that you can't ponder on the goodness of God if you forget the good things God has done for you. And obviously there are good things in general. So there's things you don't want to think about. Like the fact we can have this conversation here, fam, it's something to give God thanks for. Like we were watching one of our old something that we done, podcast something we done, all that fam. We've upgraded in so many different ways. Something to ponder about. But if we didn't watch that thing, we wouldn't be thinking about,
it's true.
That's true. Look at where we've come from.
Look at where we've come from. Do you get me?
God as well.
Like you can't ponder if you forget. Like it's actually, it should be more of a command in your life to say, nah, let me make sure that I note down and jot down. There's parts in the Bible that someone said it, but Happy Bedtime's the Old Testament.
Yeah, building altars basically. Bro, so every single time God did something like Abraham,
put a
Isaac,
rock
and Jacob.
Say this
I said Jacob. That's insane.
You said Jason.
Me. But every single time God did something, they'll build a world. They'll build an altar essentially. Like essentially what it is about building altars. We've spoken about this before, to be fair, innit? Like building altars, innit, of gratitude essentially.
Bro, and it's just there and it's for remembrance. So anyone who goes there and they hear the name, it will tell them a story of this is what God has done, bro. But we don't do that enough.
What sort of things do you think we could do though to make those altars? Obviously, we can't actually make. So what do you think we can do?
It's like writing lists and all that kind of stuff, innit? So keeping a journal is like one of the, let's say, most popular ways that people do this. That sort of thing in terms of like writing down your dreams, for example, and then writing down when these things have come to fruition and all that kind of stuff. Writing down all your promises. It's a good practice. It's good practice. It's a good practice. It's so funny, but it's good practice to do that anyway. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But yeah, writing down stuff that God has brought you through, and then when you're praying about certain things, you see how like everyone refers to God as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Refer to him as the God that brought me through X.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Because he's my God as well.
Exactly.
You know, I heard that Auntie Top here. That's the first time I heard someone say that.
You might have even said something. Like,
When Top, I remember when she said that, fam. It was actually mind blowing at the time. I was younger, innit? Because her thing was like, fam, say the God of yours, like, the God of Shea. And I was like, right, I can say that, You know, back then, you just did, fam, with all you hear is God of Abraham, God of Isaac.
You can say it unless you're moving a bit.
God of Jacob, bro.
Because if you're manifesting and you're doing crystals and that.
Fam.
And you start saying that, fam, do you know what I mean?
It's not that good, man.
It's not that one.
Start getting a bit weird still.
But I want is Yahweh, innit? Just for name. Even the fact that the names of God is
calling
important,
God by his name,
fam, that's another thing.
And you know so mad actually, just on the names thing. Again, it's kind of off on a tangent, but I'll keep it short. But even the fact that like after certain periods of time, people in the Bibles, their names have changed. Like Joseph's name changed, Jesus' name changed. In the end, Jacob. To say that exactly Jacob's name changed. Like just again, just the importance of name. But again, I just don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But it's just something that reminds me.
Yeah, now I hear you still. I'm definitely gonna. There was a period in my life, but again, it's always a period in my life whereby it's like a trialing sort of period, innit? So when I like left work and stuff like that, I was journaling, bro, bare. Every day I was writing.
I'll be real. The journal thing, bro. Like I even see it as a bit of a pause. Like I'm like, it's hard for me to. No, understand what I'm trying to say to you, bro.
I get what you're saying.
It's not normal. It's not natural to man. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I get what you're trying to say. But
I was about to get onto you, but
it's actually just funny.
It's
just not. It's just not your
natural
thing.
to man.
The reason I didn't get onto you as well is because I know that bare man listening would kind of feel the same
way.
Do you get? You're asking me to journal,
bro. And do you know so man?
Sounds like it reminds me of like My Sweet 16 or something. I don't know. Like, just
what one was definitely.
Obviously, it's not though.
It was definitely like beneficial at the time.
Yeah.
Because again, you know, like. The man them don't like to talk, generally speaking, anyway, But when you're actually journaling, you're writing out what you feel, and it's on a piece of paper.
So,
even if you don't actually like go like it's out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I was gonna get onto this because it's kind of like you can write it down, but you can also voice note it. You can also
do that.
Other ways,
but you know, like the key thing, and one thing that I probably don't do as much, is you see when you're a thinker and you ponder on stuff, like. I believe I've got good memory in it. Like I've got like elite memory or whatever, But there's still times where if I don't write down a to-do list for the day, there's certain things I'll miss. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Or there's certain things I'll remember too late. And it's like I'm not logging back on to do that. Do you get? And I say that to say, like in terms of people that think stuff a lot kind of thing, like sometimes you go through stuff and it's like, do you know what? I can't process this thing right now. and you move past it and you forget to process it, but it started to affect you in different ways.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? Because one of the things, because I went to, you know, that 412 thing.
Yeah.
Remember, one of the questions I was like, like, how do you process your feelings, innit? Because again, you know, like, I feel like in this day and age, we've gone into this whole thing of like, we're doing think pieces and everything, innit? And we speak about men and emotions a lot. And we're like, like, how do you process your emotions and all that kind of stuff? And I was like, you know, okay, cool. Like, how do people process their emotions? It's not something I actively think about. It's not something if someone makes me annoyed or angry or frustrated or makes me feel sad or whatever it is, I don't sit down and be like, I feel sad or I feel angry. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
If anything, I acknowledge, that's annoying. Do you get? And like, cool. Like, what can I do to move on? But it's not I'm not doing a think piece on every situation to be like, oh, why do I feel this way? Bro, that's so impractical, bro. We ain't got time. Like, let's be real. Like, and it's not everything that I can hold on to that much. Number one, you shouldn't be holding on to every situation that heavily. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And obviously, when the heavy situations come, all right, cool, you got to process your emotions and reserve that for then, in it, obviously, in it. But again, this is a page out of my book. It's not something I'm telling everyone to do, innit? It's just how I see it, and it sort of thing, innit? But yes, I think there's other ways you can do stuff in terms of like voice memos and that.
Yeah.
But listening back to their voice memos, listening back to absolutely mad. Fam, like, I can't.
I've done it before still.
I feel mad, fam. Like,
I've done it before still, but I haven't listened back to it. I don't know where it is.
Do you know what it is? I did it one time. I did it one time for something I wanted to say when I linked up with you, man. In terms of like, bro, like it was something about like putting like a muzzle on a certain way of thinking and all that kind of stuff. I don't even know what it is now.
You know what it is, with the certain thought process. I remember Pastor O one time, and when he said it to me, it just changed the way I thought about bare things. But he was like, I've said it here before as well, that like basically when you feel a way about something, you should never play it off of, oh, I just feel this way, I move on. Not the moment you feel a way, it's like, hold on, why do I feel a way right now? Because sometimes it's like someone might say something in a room that's seemingly normal. But to me, it's like, fam, why is that thing annoying me? No, the normal things are that's annoying, but it's like just push past it. Yeah. But it's like, no, hold on. It's actually taking note that this thing has annoyed me. Or sometimes, I remember me and my missus used to have conversations back in the days and we kind of trained ourselves to do it, where it's like, hold on, something in this convo has annoyed me. Do you know what I'm trying to say? There was something that was spoken about that's rubbed man the wrong way. And it might even be like a minor comment that I might have thought or she might have thought that we're insinuating something by saying that. Yeah. And then when it's explained, it's like, no,
it's completely not.
I wasn't actually saying that. And sometimes it's explained and you were saying that. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
You know what I do?
It's good to pick up on it still.
Do you get me?
At least especially within like a relationship sort of dynamic, innit? Because that way the person can no longer, do you get what I mean, say that or whatever. And now you know what they were actually meaning.
And if they actually meant it, let's also be honest. Sometimes people say things because it. Do you get me?
And then you can get into it and say that thing makes me feel like whatever.
Man, that's this, man.
That's it, man. You're so magic. You know, like one of those things, And again, so, and I hear it, And I just feel like obviously in that moment, it's obviously a thing where it's like, oh, you clocked that. It's not actually a peak thing, but it's made me feel a certain way. So, cool. Let me not let it go. Let me just understand what it is and then deal with it if I need to, innit? And it's all kind of mad, because I feel like I get that all the time. But that's because I'm just onto things that I don't. You see, like there's a part of me that's like, like I take myself seriously, and there's a part of me where it's like, just relax. You get. So it's kind of like in those moments, what I try and do is, cool, I'll latch onto it, but I'll try and make it a bit more jovial in it in the way that I go about it or whatever it is in it. But yeah, like it's almost like. Sometimes I have to do the thing where it's just kind of like, oh, they probably didn't mean it that way, man, or like, do you know what I mean, or whatever it is, and try and let go. Of course,
fam, like we say,
if I have to wait to speak to another person, and this is the thing though, but if I have to wait to speak to another person, I'm at the mercy of whatever that person says. Do you get what I'm trying to say? To a certain degree in it, in terms of if I have to wait until you told me you didn't mean it that way, I'm at the mercy of
until they say I didn't mean it that way.
Exactly. Whatever your response is, if you start saying, I meant it, and what? Now all of a sudden, like, fam, do you know what I mean? Like my head's spinning, bro. Like I'm hot now. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it don't make no sense. Do you get it? So it's kind of like just taking that power away from other people as well, in terms of like, or just in terms of like reclaiming that power as well. If you get what I'm trying to say, in terms of like managing yourself and your emotions. You get what I'm trying to say? But again, there's always a downside to everything. You can take that on too much and then just end up bottling up too much, and then you get what I'm trying to say.
The thing is, it's just the bottling up thing is peak still. And I remember we were talking the other day actually, because we were writing we're trying to pattern a new play basically. We're talking around the topic around the play basically, innit? And then the bottling thing, I remember being in an instance where I've reacted to something, because I've bottled it, innit? And then I've spoken about the situation. I've gotten clarity on the situation, but it didn't necessarily make me feel any sort of type of like, oh, am I going to some relief? But one thing I will say is, since that me reacting to that thing, I've now begun to react to things differently. Do you know what I mean? I say all of that to say, certain times you bottle things, you don't think it's affecting you, but there is an effect in it, and you might not even necessarily get the answer to that effect. But me having that conversation was me trying to actively find, okay, cool, this thing has made me, I've reacted like this. This is the reason why I reacted. All right, cool, yo. Let's have this conversation. Even though that convo didn't now bring that. I've now noticed that I'm still reacting in that way. And it's like, okay, cool. What is the root of this thing? It's like, whether you like it or not, if you bottle it up, it's gonna come out in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean?
And the immediate resolution for these things isn't that, oh, I speak so it's solved. You get what I'm trying to say? I speak so that it's rooted up. And bare things that are done in the dark or undercovers are the stuff that can take you down. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, those things you're building up, moments of anger, moments of irritation. You know, even that whole like that little, someone is doing little things to annoy you and you're letting it go, but these things are building up to massive things. Then all of a sudden, fam, one day you wake up, you don't like that person no more. You know what I'm trying to say? You don't feel that person, and you feel like your relationship, your friendship, your relationship is done, bro. Do you get me? But because bare little things. And I do think man them are more susceptible to that. Do you get me? Just because they speak up less. Later, you get me?
See, and I'll be real. Like, a lot of man's principles are based on, like, fool me once, alright, cool, shame on me, innit? Fool me twice, no, sorry, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, innit? And it's kind of like, the whole ethos of it is like, you know what, like, the journey and the path that man's on now, I'm not here to do gra, innit? Do you know what I mean? Alright, cool. You've made your stance clear. I'll move away, innit? Do you get? But then again, it kind of like, it just fosters like a lifestyle of like little to no reconciliation. Do you get? And obviously it's kind of like living like an island as well, innit? When we should be living like the opposite of that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But yeah, a lot of the time it's just kind of like someone does something and it's been annoying you, and it's like, okay, cool. Another thing I do as well is like, alright, cool, from today you're not doing that anymore. Do you know what I mean? And then it becomes a thing of friction. And it becomes a thing of like, alright, cool, don't say that to me. Don't talk to me like that. Boom, 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 da da da. And don't get it twisted, now. Another thing that we were talking about not too long ago, and that we'll continue to speak about, is like having uncomfortable conversations with people. And actually, there's a different level of like love that comes from, alright, cool, I'm having this conversation with you, it's uncomfortable and it feels uncomfortable, but bro, I want us to be blessed afterwards. I want everything to work smoothly afterwards. Just understand I'm not trying to get onto you, but this thing, don't like it. You get what I'm trying to say?
When was the last time you like had an uncomfortable conversation? Recently.
Uncomfortable conversation, as in like a
very recently.
Because what I do, because what I do, I just pull people up and I will make it awkward in the moment. But do you get what I'm trying to say? I don't wait and sit down and, do you get? Or if I've let something go and I want to bring. So for example, alright, cool. You know the whole thing of like, alright, cool, I take myself seriously, but at the same time, it's not that deep. This could be, it's not that deep, but you see when it's like raw, I have no reason to cap. Like, so don't ever call cap, like, because it grinds my gears, fam.
So you say verifying.
We're friends, innit? That's why you can, like, I'm telling the story or whatever, and you're looking, you're like, fam, are you sure? Like, and that's fine, innit? Because other than that, I thought, obviously, again, I still feel like I'm a traditional man, innit? In terms of like how I think about things. So like saying that raw, man's lying and that is a kind of like a traditional offense. Do you get what I'm trying to say? at the end of the day, it's true, innit? Do you get? So if someone else that I didn't know that well done that, like, and they first discovered it from you lot, I would be so pissed off. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I would be so annoyed. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, you know what it is,
do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Because you must have joked here, you said shut up or whatever. Then the next man thinks, bro, don't you ever. Do you get what I'm trying to say though? Like, it's kind of like familiarity, but you shouldn't be familiar in that sense. But again, don't get it twisted, yeah. All of this being said, yeah, I know that it's not that deep. For like the majority of people, innit? And so I'm always, it's always on the chin and that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But sometimes I just feel like, do you know what? Nah, do you know what? Let me just clear it up just so people know, like, listen.
That's, you know, is on this point, yeah. So you've kind of said one, you want to say another one, yeah. But what's one kind of trait you have, yeah, that you know is bad? That you know this thing is bad. Like,
what do you mean I've said one?
You kind of said one.
See, now this is how I'm not going to let go.
Bro, you've actually... Because in that, there's things that you take that you could also just say is not that deep.
Yeah. But then again, I feel like it's good to be principled as well. Don't get too said. I don't think I honestly, even as a Christian and all that kind of stuff, yeah, I don't feel like I should allow people to just try me in any way. I honestly still feel like that. I don't feel you can set boundaries. Obviously, it's about, okay, cool. When these things happen, how do you respond to it? There's a lot on that, innit? But I definitely feel like, listen, everyone should still have their clear boundaries and stuff like that. I still feel like, alright, cool. So if it's, do you get what I'm trying to say? So because of that, from time to time, from listen,
but
bare times I'm gonna let them things slide. What would you mean?
I hear what you're saying.
What with the cat thing?
Yeah.
No, that's definitely one of them.
That's
definitely a principle.
Let's not in the cap context, because if a stranger, we all know, if a man you're not cool, we said it before that in the setting, a man you're not cool with, saying shut up, you're thinking,
you on about
that you're right. You're not
you on about.
Like, what, you might be like, do you get me? That one, and also it's upbringing where we're from. Also, those things play a part to why we care about that as well.
I feel like I'm one of the people that you don't know that.
You don't mix words.
Bro, exactly. And I'll tell the truth to my detriment. Do you know what I mean? If I was wrong in that situation, I was wrong in it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I'll just tell it how it is, innit? I'm not trying to sound cool. But other people don't know that. So sometimes I'm like, cool, now let me make sure, let me just verify. But like, just moving away from that, because I feel like that one's not that deep, but we're doing too much and we're going too deep into it, yeah. But I think in general, yeah, it's good to be principled, innit? And I'm a very principled person, innit? And that's why a lot of the time, people don't understand. And it's been like this from young, innit? So the way I was like taught when I was growing up is like, there's a reason why you don't do things in a certain way. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Not that you don't do certain things. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And everything was very, very principle like based in it. Do you get? So because of that, I'm very principle based in it, in terms of like, there should be certain consistencies. And that's not to say there's not room for error. I'm not saying that for 1 second. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But it's just like, cool. Here are my principles, and this is what I'm trying to stick to. If I feel, I feel.
So do you know with the principles, yeah? Because I think this is an interesting point, because I had this conversation the other day. It was therefore last year. But so those, and we've had it in another way in the conversation, but the stuff that you're principled about, which will mean that, okay, don't do that, yeah? Do you still do those things?
What do you mean? Give an example.
So let's say you're principled about something actually inside my eye.
You just mean like, does he hold himself to the same standards he holds other people to?
And you know, yes, yeah. But the reason I don't want to say that is because we know the answer is not for everyone. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, no one holds. You know that saying that, like, we're our own lawyers and everyone else is judge.
Yeah.
So no one really holds themselves to the standard. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's just a human nature thing, which is why
I would disagree though. I think obviously, yeah, we do need God, and I think
I do as much as I can.
And I'll be real. I'll be real. In certain things, I definitely hold myself more to account than I do anyone else. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? And in terms of how that plays, because again, a lot of people are like, but you don't scorn yourself, you don't scold yourself, you don't all that kind of stuff, bro. I've told you, look. Remember, sometimes I'll be talking about something, I'll be like, fam, like, I wanted to bang myself in the face, like, as in, so I take certain things serious, and I'll be like, fam, like, what? But then I know that, cool, but I got to move forward. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the only difference.
But my thing isn't necessarily holding yourself to account. I mean, so if you said, let's say, okay, let's just say the cap thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you call cap for someone else, knowing that you think calling cap on what someone is saying can, like, and especially for people who don't know that person,
it's just deeper.
Do you get me? That it can do that.
I'll keep it 100. So in that sense, the answer is just no. And the reason why the answer is no, yeah, is because I genuinely believe I'm known and seen as someone that holds that kind of standard in terms of like, I'm not trying to cap. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, not that I'm not trying to cap. I just don't need to. Do you get what I'm trying to say? More time. I don't care to impress to care to cap. Do you get? So when there's someone else that I know cares to impress, so cares to cap, I will call cap. In my head, I'll just be like, I'll just note it like, fam. Or if I'm chatting in a private setting, as soon as you say it, fam, we had an instance today, yeah, and I'll be like, fam, like, I'll pull it up in a moment and be like, so you haven't consumed this thing in this place, in this location. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, for example, so that's what I'll do in it. That's how I respond to these things. But more time, it's still in a closed. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's not like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fair.
Why did you ask about difficult conversations?
Because Hen brought up difficult conversations.
Yeah, like, no, you definitely need to have difficult.
So
like,
you need to have it. Okay. What's that
Yeah.
one you had? Because you were saying you have them all the time, innit? Essentially, because you don't wait for things to.
I don't really have conversations. I just pull people out.
Do you know what it is? It weren't a difficult,
or just let it go.
It weren't a difficult one, but something happened, and basically, the thing about man is that when it comes to friendships, here, I hold people to. It's weird, high standards, but low. What's the word? High standards, yeah, but low frequency. I can't explain it. So I don't expect.
Room for error. There's room for error.
There's
essentially.
bare room for error.
Yeah,
so I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's bare room for error. So I don't expect you to be sick all the time.
Yeah.
But then when those times pop up, do you get me? I expect you to be there in those times and not be there for me. So, for example, a dumb example is if you man are in a room and someone comes into the room, I'm not here, and they start chatting like mess about. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Fam, there's no way that everyone should be like, what, for real, like, fair. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff shouldn't happen. Or you man hear mess, and they're like, oh man, don't let Shaya know.
Wait, what?
You said don't let Shaya know.
They say don't let Shaya know about whatever. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But I'm thinking about dumb examples. Do you get what I'm trying to say? These are very, very dumb examples, innit? But so what I'm saying is that I don't expect bare, but it's just certain moments show up.
Yeah, okay.
So something happened.
But then what's the? So you say less frequent, but high standard, but less frequent. Yeah. So those moments. But what's the opposite of those moments where they don't say something and it's cool?
So the opposite wouldn't be that moment. The opposite is just be like all the other times in different situations where they didn't do something. Do you get me? And
so certain things you have a high standard.
Yeah.
The majority of other things, it's just cool.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Bare things I'm like.
But I feel like that's the same with everyone. And it's based on what you kind of value and principles.
And do you know what it is though? I don't think that's true. So I've got certain friends that are like a lot of things are irritants, and a lot of things are issues, and a lot of things lead to bare conversations.
But they value those things. That's why.
There's no debate on that, innit? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But my thing is that there's bare things that I'm just, and by the way, it's like the whole thing about offense, by the way. There's bare things I can take offense for.
Yeah, you just choose
not to actively take offense for. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
So for example, the way I see it is like, you got 3 people, A, B, and C, A has 10 things that they value bare, They all have 10 things that they value bare.
Everyone has 10 things they value
Everything
bare,
they have. And then A, 5 of those things they just choose not to take offense. B, they're taking offense on everything. C, they're taking offense on nothing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But they value all of those things the same. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's just the same with other people as well. Everyone still has things that they value and principles that they hold to. But then how they enforce it is different. Or how they respond to it is different.
And I would argue that in life, using no particular example, if you take offense to everything, I think there's a problem. I generally think that it is a bad thing. I don't think that it's like, it's a bad thing, bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say? There needs to be a level of, bro, like, listen, there's a grace in these elements. You get what I'm trying to say?
Context.
Let's choose not to take offense in these things. So with me, there's situations that I work on a lot to make sure I don't take offense. Do you get me? And I'm not gonna lie, my character is that also as well, that bare things I don't see that deep. Unless it's come to disrespect. But other than that, bare things, like if we're all having a discussion about like, one thinks A is right, one thinks B is right, fam, bare times, I don't actually believe anyone has a monopoly of truth. Like, it's actually my thought process. So, because I don't think people have a monopoly of truth, I'm never really on anyone's side.
Yeah.
However, I can say someone's not making sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm very big on that. Like, make sense with your point. I can disagree with you, but make sense. But I say all this to say that
I can't lie, that's very noble.